Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Monday.
Oh, God, no, not the toilet paper again. Do not hoard. People of the world, we can make it last. Whatever happens, it's that friggin' T word again. The softwood lumber industry is concerned that tariffs on softwood could wind up leaving us with limited supply of good old toilet paper. So apparently bleached softwood craft pulp is the key ingredient here, not just for toilet paper, but for paper towels as well. Shock. And we, in Canada, we ship more than 2 million tons of this stuff down to America every year, I'm learning. Credit to John Tupper of the Cruz news team for the hilarious headline out there right now. U.S. softwood duties could wipe out TP supply. Duty.
Man, oh, come on now.
Big time brawl now in the front row.
You gotta stay.
It's going to take a lot to break this up.
You gotta stay out of the crowd. This is not good.
This has been building.
That audio from a game yesterday where there was a big old basketball brawl. And not the kind of thing you see all that often between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Detroit Pistons, specifically between players Ron Holland and Naz Reid. If the two had just maybe exchanged some tension, grappled a little, just the two of them, wouldn't have been anything that crazy. Probably not even making anything more than like a passing mention. But this quick flare-up then quickly whipped into the brawl that earned headlines because it spilled into the stands. The video's pretty wild. Now, there was a concern for a young fan pinned in place. Don't worry, nobody injured. But it also took out a shoulder cam operator like a giant wave, like an ocean wave crashing down on him. You can see just people just like envelop the camera screen and then nothing. You can't see a thing. 7 people ejected from the game. I don't know if that's a record or anything, but that's a lot, including Pistons head coach and the Wolves assistant coach. The kind of brawl that you never see in the NBA, but that, hockey fans are, they're kind of familiar with.
The coaches are getting into it. The coaches are literally fighting with each other now, too. I don't think I've ever seen that before, Michael.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
A new book about the Lollapalooza Festival, Uncensored Story of Alternative Rock's Wildest Festival, is the subtitle of the whole book, is coming out this month. And with it, stories of the creation of the festival. Perry Farrell originally apparently had an idea for a giant burrito for the very first Lollapalooza, where attendees could have an opportunity to share in a portion of said giant burrito. That would have been a very, very fun sight. Academy Award nominated actor Vera Farmiga is also a metal singer, if you weren't aware. She is best known for movies like The Conjuring and many, many others, but she also does a lot of metal singing with her band, the Yagas, and is actually going to be putting out a new album. That's following up some singles and covers. She did Iron Maiden's Trooper, Slipknot's Duality, Black Sabbath's War Pigs, for instance, but now they're putting out a collection of, I believe, original music that's going to be coming out a little bit later on this year. And for the first time ever, a guitar played by Kurt Cobain during the Nirvana Unplugged session is going to be exhibited in the UK, over in London, specifically for a exhibition that's going to be curated by a rock journalist, Alan DePierna, and at the Royal College of Music from June 3rd to November 18th. So a long time for people in the area to have a chance to come and take a look at it, as well as several other pieces. Robosaurus. Do you remember this? I had my mind blown, memory jogged just over the weekend. I have been going through some old magazines. I was talking about it a little bit last week, but, new discoveries every single flip of the page. And on one page, I saw a giant 2-page, actually, spread on Robosaurus, which was invented by Doug Malowicki in 1989 from the company Monster Robots. This thing was incredible. This thing basically felt like what Pacific Rim Jaeger robot mech would have looked like in real life at the time to all of us children. It was incredible. Picking up cars, blowing fire out of its nostrils, picking up fighter jets and just crushing them. It was incredible. Put a photo of that page up on our social media just to ogle at, just to give everybody that same jolt of memory. But it was incredible how much we were so wrapped up in it. Of course, Simpsons jumped all over it with Truckosaurus. And I found out this weekend, after telling a friend about this, that they actually revisited the joke and made Truckosaurus 2, but kind of taking it the way of Jurassic Park, where they're like, well, in the new version of Truckosaurus, well, it's a little bit more paleontologically correct with the fossil record it's a bunch of pieces of metal welded together, all right? And it's awesome.
Tuesday.
I know the dates. I have some skepticism myself, but the word is that Sydney Sweeney is now single. Just putting it out there. So you're saying there's a chance? No, not really. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that apparently there's been trouble in paradise. Writing's been a little bit on the wall. And she's called off the wedding and relationship. Now single. To the guy, Jonathan Davino. I don't know if I've ever even seen a photo of the two of them together. But she does seem to have great chemistry with just about every other single person that she encounters. Certainly the co-stars of the movies that she's been making, which is great. Good for the movies, good for the co-stars, good for the people watching, but not good, I guess, for the ex, the now ex. I know. But, again, take it with a grain of salt only because of the day we're seeing on the calendar. 4 straight weeks, exactly 4 weeks, until it is Election Day. It'll be another Monday, the last one of the month, and we'll finally get some stuff figured out. But that still seems so far away. Doesn't it? Is your country divided? And now it's time to decide on the political party in charge of your country? Again? Ugh. The Canadian general election is set to take place April 28th. And when it takes an entire month or more to achieve an election in a divisive time and place, that's known as electile dysfunction. In places like the United States of America, it can take more than 3 months to achieve an election, and oftentimes people are left unsatisfied with the results. Thankfully, in Canada, there are limits to how long we can expect to experience electile dysfunction, but it's still not enough. That's why we're introducing the instant election. Instead of spending an entire month groaning at all the election signs popping up like weeds all over the place, take power and confidence into your own hands. Skip the social media comment section and simply remove the instant election capsule from the foil packaging and take with maple syrup. Next thing you know, it'll be election day and you won't have to worry about electile dysfunction again. What's our secret? It's really just an extremely powerful sedative designed to keep you just outside of consciousness until the time-locked second stage kicks in on April 27th, waking you up out of your stupor just in time to exercise your civic duties and decide who will defend the sovereignty of our nation for the foreseeable future. With instant election, you can get on with your life with confidence. Confidence in elected party and party leader not guaranteed and is honestly not very likely. Getting things started off, it's been a while, months even of speculation, but now we have officially had the announcement of who will be playing the Fab Four when it comes to the new Sam Mendes Beatles biopic. Specifically, you've got Harris Dickinson, Paul Mescal, Barry Keoghan, and Joseph Quinn playing the members of the Beatles. That, of course, we won't see in theaters until 2028. Morgan Wallen walking off of the SNL stage at the very end of the show while everybody was saying their goodbyes. It's gotten big reactions online. For the most part, who cares? But people have been asking even the cast members what they thought about it, and longtime writer and cast member Kenan Thompson was on Entertainment Today talking about how he definitely saw it. He was wondering what the message was, and it's not the first time that somebody's left early. Not saying he wanted to compare Morgan Wallen to the likes of Prince, but for instance, Prince also left SNL early when he was on it back in the day as well. Probably kind of a non-issue. And Donald Trump proving that a clock that is broken can be right twice a day is doing something that not really many people are upset about. Writing an executive order against exploitative ticket scalping in the United States. who is really talking about markup, a potential markup of people snapping up tickets with bots and then selling them at a 500% markup. Nobody wants that.
Wednesday.
We're asking the big question this morning. Thinking back, did you learn enough about doing your taxes in school? Do you feel as if you were prepared, set up properly for it? Because I think a lot of people don't. There's a bit of a running gag, especially, I think, my generation, especially, just feeling like that wasn't something that was laid out as comprehensively as it probably should have. It's been a while since I was in high school, let's be clear about that, and my high school years were split between here and Edmonton. And the first 2 years down the highway before coming back here and graduating at Comp. And it was in Edmonton that I took the COM classes, aka Career and Life Management. And I don't think that I learned a damn thing from that block of time, to be honest. Each week, I can tell you, I can cut pictures of desired furniture out of magazines and paste them into a collage that includes prices. That I can do. Learned it well, but half of the classes from that course weren't even do anything. It was just show up. There was a guest expert speaker, and I say the word expert loosely, and the pass for those classes in particular was filling out a simple 5-question test. It was the same test for every single one. You basically just fill it out. Who is the person's name? What do they represent? What's something you learn? And that you were present and that you maintained a pulse was the pass for that class. COM classes for me was a joke. So I think that was the opportunity, and I did not learn nearly enough about doing those taxes. What about you? And for the first story, we've got Sum 41 releasing a last music video ever. Slightly unexpected. Of course, they had their final performance ever at the Junos just recently after their final tour ever, culminating earlier this year, but they have now released a music video for the single Radio Silence that was released late last month. So you can check that out, of course, available online. Morgan Wallen now selling some merch inspired by his Saturday Night Live walk-off during the end credit closing and thank yous, and even the subsequent post he put on social media of a private jet that had the caption, "Get me to God's country," because that's what really solidifies the meaning of protesty sort of behavior. Selling merch right afterwards. Absolutely. Warner Brothers DVDs, you might have read about this, from 2006 to 2008 are showing signs of what is called disc rot, which could be a really cool metal band name, but apparently it's happening far earlier than the discs should be breaking down. Apparently they have an estimated lifespan 30 to 100 years, but a certain era of these WB-produced ones are kicking the bucket early. For anyone who still has physical media, there's nothing to be done but go and check through them and see if anything looks messed up. Now, I guess you can get some of them replaced if they are still in print. There is an offer that's being made good on for anybody who is having their movies just kind of crumbling on their shelves. But I got to go check these myself. I've got a few. I don't know how many for sure are Warner Brothers released or if they're in that window from 2006 to 2008, but feels like the nerdiest thing possible to be planning for the rest of my day. I need to go check the viability of my DVDs today. But I can live with that. What I am chapped about is that they made a big deal about these discs being the future of keeping movies and TV shows safe. They used to put those ads on the VHS where they're like, DVD, it's going to look so much better than what you're looking at right now. Trust us, believe us, and it's going to last forever. Yeah, should have known.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.